Hi everyone and welcome to DC. I'm Cindy Axne, Congresswoman for Iowa's 3rd Congressional District. So glad you could all make it this week, and I want to specifically say hello to the members from Principal Insurance, which has branches and employees all over Iowa. It's great to have you here. And of course, thank you, Mackenzie Bennett with Principal, for all your hard work in getting this conference set up. You're all in great hands. And I'd like to thank the chair of the Employers Council on Flexible Compensation, Jody Deitel, as well as outgoing Executive Director Marty Trussell and your new incoming Executive Director, Christina Day. For those of you who don't know me, I'm one of the nearly 101 newly elected representatives in this 116th Congress, and one of the first 2 women ever elected to the House from Iowa. I ran for office because I saw how broken our healthcare system was, and I believe that with hard work and expert advice, we can fix it. It won't be easy, and it won't happen overnight, but I'm committed to improving the lives of the Iowans that I represent and the lives of Americans all across this country. I spent a decade in state government, working under both Republican and Democratic governors to get things done for Iowa. As an efficiency and process expert for the state of Iowa, I found things that were redundant or inefficient, and I got to work. I helped streamline internal processes, making things more effective, and that saved the taxpayers time and money. And I led the charge to bring economic projects like wind energy to Iowa, creating jobs and making Iowa a leader in wind technology. Now I'm bringing that same passion and purpose to Washington. Thank you for participating in this important piece of our democracy and bringing your voices to Washington. You and your fellow conference attendees represent employers, health plan providers, payment networks, financial groups, and more. And all of you are here to advocate for the solutions to the problems you are seeing every day in your professions. As part of your time in Washington, you'll be all over Capitol Hill, meeting with lawmakers and advocating for important policy changes. Let me offer just a small piece of advice. As you're advocating today, be sure to talk about personal stories. Those stories stick in our memory and make a bigger impact than you might realize. I want to thank you and the ECFC for supporting my bill, the Improving Child Care for Working Families Act. As you're all well aware, we haven't updated the amount an employee can contribute to their DCAP account since 1986. Meanwhile, the cost of child care keeps going up. In Iowa, the average cost of child care for an infant is just over $10,000 a year. And as a mom, I know what it's like to try and find a child care provider and how nerve-wracking that experience is for parents. We want something safe, but we need something affordable. This is an issue that has bipartisan support to fix. It's no surprise that Republican Congressman Pete Stauber joined me in co-sponsoring this legislation. He has 4 young children himself. Us parents know there is a child care shortage in this country, and when child care is in short supply, it raises costs and it forces families to make very tough choices. I'm sad to report that in my district we've had child injuries and deaths, which is one of the reasons I'm so passionate about finding solutions. We need to ensure we have adequate, safe providers in our communities and that our families can afford care. Congress needs to get to work on addressing this child care crisis. As healthcare and financial groups, you know that offering your employees a child care tax credit is a great incentive to hire and retain your staff. And many of you work in the benefits and payment sectors, so you see firsthand how DCAP is already helping families. I hope you'll be able to talk to other congressional offices about why it's time we increase this tax credit and what that means for communities. I hope you'll share the stories you've seen and explain that if we want to help families and support businesses in our communities, then supporting our bipartisan Improving Child Care for Working Families Act is the right step. Like all of you here today, I'm committed to protecting and expanding healthcare access in ways that can help people today, right now. That's why I'm a supporter of H.R. 1922, the Restoring Access to Medication Act, which allows over-the-counter medication to be reimbursed from health savings accounts. The best cure for the cold or flu is not always going to the doctor's office. It's a quick stop at your local pharmacy and staying home. So allowing over-the-counter medications to receive reimbursements from health savings accounts reflects the realities of folks' lives and how they use their health care. H.R. 1922 only has 12 members of Congress supporting it right now. We're going to need 218 members to pass this bill in the House. I know with your help we can get more support. I know you'll help offices understand why this legislation makes a difference for so many families across this country. Using those personal stories you've seen and experienced will help connect complex healthcare and tax policy into the day-to-day realities of Americans all across this country. Bills like these will help our seniors, our families, our employers, and our communities. I'm committed to the hard work and fixing what is broken, and I'm glad to have you join me in that fight. And let me offer you just one more piece of advice while your time here in Washington: wear comfortable shoes. And thank you so much for support of my bill, the Improving Child Care for Working Families Act, for your work serving our communities and for advocating for these important changes here in Congress. Thanks again, everyone. Have a great week, and be sure to wash your hands.